Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Different Point of View. I'm KonateLilas, your host, and without further ado, let's get into today's topic. So for this one, I just want to say that I had an experience this past week that made me very disappointed in Black people. So I was at a local AutoZone in Springfield Gardens, New York, which is in Queens, New York, which is a predominantly Black neighborhood. So I'm in an AutoZone, I'm online, I'm trying to get a muffler for my car. There is a Spanish guy in front of me. And he is talking to the guys behind the register, and he's just using the N-word like crazy. He's like, yeah, my nigga, and this nigga over here, and you know, that nigga, and yo, what's up, my nigga? I mean, he's just woo, it's just swirling out of his mouth. And I said to him, as politely as I can, I said, yo, you know, could you not use that word? I mean, you know what? Let me just get my muffler and, you know, I'll be on my way. I wasn't even asking him to not even use it. I just wanted him to just give me the respect to not use it in front of me. And he just got irate. Like, I offended him. Like, who the F are you to tell me that I can't use that word? And, you know, I can say what the F I want to say. And he's just making a big scene. The security guard comes over to me and asks, the Black security guard comes over to me and asks me to leave. I said, what? You kidding me? I said, I'm not leaving. Listen, man, I'm trying to do my transaction. He's like, what? Yo, I ain't going nowhere either. I'll F you up. What you want to do? I said, look, I don't live here. I got to leave this store. So whatever you want to do, that's what you want to do. And the thing about it is that, you know, he was skinny like me. And anybody that's skinny like me, I feel like my chances are really good. So, but that's a whole nother thing. But let's put it this way. I wasn't in a fearful situation, you know. So he just really starts whatever, right? Wailing his arms like he's really going to do something. And the security guard escorts him out. And he's like, yo, meet me outside. When you come outside, I'm going to F you up, this, that, and that. I said, okay, whatever. So I continue to, you know, try to get my muffler for my car. There was some discrepancy on whether or not the part was going to match the car. So I said, wait a minute, how about I just give you my VIN number and we can just double check. So I went outside to take a picture of my registration because my VIN number's on it to go back in. I go outside, he's not there, whatever, so I come back in. So, and I finished my transaction and that was it. But there's a couple of things that really bothered me about that situation, and his ignorance wasn't even the worst part. I mean, yes, I was extremely thrown off at the fact that he felt like I offended him, but the thing that got to me, and it says something about us, right? What does it say about us that he was the only non-Black person in there and he can just use the N-word with no impunity and no sense of awareness, nothing, it's just running off his mouth? What does that say about us? What does it say about the standard that we have tolerated as Black people? What does it say about how much we don't even respect our own culture, therefore other people don't respect it? It says a lot. What else does it say is that nobody Black came to my defense, and he was vastly outnumbered. There's 4 Black people behind the counter. There's another 12 Black men online. So that's 16 Black people, plus the security guard was Black. That's 17. Then if you count me, that's 18. He's outnumbered 18-1. And not one Black person came to my defense. Not one black person said, hey, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't say it. I wasn't even saying to come at him with violence. I'm just saying, hey, listen, man, whatever. Don't wait till something. Every single black person just sat there and just looked. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. These are the same black people who, well, I mean, not those specific black people, but there's a certain inconsistent outrage among black people that really frustrates me. These are the same black people that decided to not be friends with me anymore or not speak to me anymore because of who I voted for. Because they felt that person was racist. But yet you have someone who's not black just throwing around the N-word, and then when I challenged him on it, he got indignant and nobody said nothing. But that didn't make you upset. It's amazing to me, the inconsistent outrage. And now some people might say, oh, well, Spanish people are black too. Jesus Christ. Listen, black people, please stop saying that stupid. Stop! It's frustrating. If you fill out a job application, it says on the job application, black, non-Hispanic. That's what it says on the application. Stop saying that Spanish people are black too. No, they're Spanish, we're black. Now, I do have to address this. Spanish is a language, it is not an ethnicity. Gotcha. And if you are a person with very European features, meaning that you have very straight hair, you have very, very fair skin, or whatever the case may be, you are not black. Are there black people, very African looking people who speak Spanish? Yes. Do you find them in Dominican Republic? Do you find them in Cuba? Do you find them in Colombia and even in Puerto Rico? Yes. But for all those black people that think that black people and that Spanish people are black too, stop it, silliness. Stop it, you silly person. Because if you cannot go down to your local bodega and get a job, you cannot go to the local cuchi frito or the local Spanish restaurant and try to get a job because you think in your mind that they're black too. No. You cannot go to the local landscaping business and try to get a job. No. And actually, if you look at the history of South America and Latin America, or, Central America, they actually have a very racist history. Very racist. Okay? The way that they treat the black Cubans was horrible. The way that they treat the black people in DR, even right now, is horrible. In Colombia and even in Brazil. So yes, there is racism in the Latino community. Please stop this foolishness that we're all the same. No, we're not. Wake up, black people. Stop. But what does it say about us that there's something about us that we just don't want to exclude? And what's interesting about it, right, is that, well, for me personally, I don't use that word. A lot of my close friends use it, and if I'm talking to them, they'll probably be used a lot. They'll probably even call me that. They'll refer to themselves as that. And I stopped trying to convince them otherwise. It was just too much. That was just a hill that I didn't want to try to climb. But for me personally, I choose not to use it. I'm almost 50 now, and I haven't used that word like that I would say at about 30. But but back then, when I would try to convince black people to stop using it, one of the core arguments, well, here are the two core arguments, right? One of the core arguments is that we're taking power back from that word, and we're taking that word back. So it's our word now, and that argument didn't make a lot of sense to me, because that was a word that was used to degenerate black people. Like, why do you want it? I mean, it was a piece of crap word. Like, give me that crap. Give me that doodle. Give me that doodle back. It's my doodle now. It's my crap now. I just never understood it. But okay. And then the other argument was, it's for us, right? It's something that binds us. It's for us. I mean, you mean it's for us N-words? I mean, okay. But so then, even if we go with that, okay, so let's go with that, right? Then why do you let everybody use it? Why are we just giving out N-word passes to everybody? Hey, you get N-word pass, you get N-word pass, you get N-word pass. You're just giving out to everybody. Your Spanish friends use it. Your Indian friends use it. Your Native friends use it. Your Arabic friends use it. Everyone's using it. So that whole argument that it's for us, sorry, that argument goes out the window. Then there's this thing of like, why can I use it? Everybody else uses it, and I should be able to use it too. I mean, I'm like, what? That is insane to me. And I think that both black people and white people need to understand that everything isn't for everybody. And it's okay if certain things are for other people and not for you. That's actually okay. And furthermore, I mean, to be quite honest with you, every racial group has their own disparaging words, right? There's disparaging words for Irish people. There's disparaging words for Jewish people. There's disparaging words for Spanish people. And me, as a black man, I have zero interest in using any of those words. I would never say to somebody, hey, listen, why can't I use that Jewish word? Irish people, why can't I use that word? Why? I want to use it too. Why can't I use it? Like, the thought of that would never even come to my brain. And what's interesting is that I happen to know what those slurs are for those other groups of people. And a lot of people probably don't even know what they are. But everybody knows what the slur is for black people. I mean, that's something to think about. But we have to understand that everything isn't for everybody to say. So I'll give you a couple examples. My mother's name is Cynthia, okay? And my aunts call her Cynthia. Her sisters call her Cynthia. Her brother calls her Cynthia. Her husband calls her Cynthia. My father calls her Cynthia. The people on her job call her Cynthia. There's probably a whole lot of people that call her Cynthia. But do you think for 1 second I could call her anything else but mom? Mom? Mother? Mommy? Like, what do you think would happen to me if I said, hey, Cynthia, I'm going to the store? What? I have to slap it right beside my head, because it's not appropriate for me to do that. That's not my place. I mean, could you imagine if I tried to produce the argument? Well, Mom, everybody else calls you Cynthia. Why can't I call you Cynthia too? Why am I being excluded from calling you Cynthia? What? No, it's not my damn place. There's a certain level of respect, because if I call her by her first name, I am not respecting her as my mother. And if you are black and someone who is not black, if they call you that word, they're not respecting your culture. They're not respecting your position as a black man. So stop giving out the N-word passes. Let me just give you another example. Athletes, they have this thing, I don't fully understand it, but they have this thing where they slap each other on the butt. Someone scores an amazing touchdown, slap on the butt. Someone does amazing slam dunk or move, slap on the butt. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they do, and that's their thing for that group of people, right? What do you think would happen to me if, they leave that particular court, they leave that field, and I just walk up to them and I say, "Hey, LeBron, that was a good 3-pointer. Slap on the butt." I would probably be hurt. I would probably have to end up in an ambulance if I did something like that, because that's not my place. Even if I ran onto the court and smacked them on the butt, I would be arrested and thrown off. That's not for me. And it's okay to exclude people from certain things. It's fine. But there's something about us. There's a certain surrender. There's a certain racial low self-esteem that we really have to talk about. And we just surrender to this substandard way of looking at ourselves. It's interesting, right? As a teacher, I remember that because I have students that they're into rap, and this is an example. This story, it's an example of how little we think of ourselves and how low we think of ourselves, that it's easy for other people to not think much of us either, right? So, a student of mine, he wants to be a rapper. I have a number of students that want to be rappers. And some record label was interested in his music, right? And the record company said to him, "Well, listen, one of your records you have to redo." And he said, "Well, why?" He said, "Because you use the F word in that record," and I'm talking about the F word that references homosexuals. And when he used that F word, it wasn't even in a reference to homosexuals. He used the F word in a reference to somebody he doesn't like. It was some kind of rival, whatever the case may be. That record company said, or that label said, "Yo, redo the song, take the word out." But what's interesting, right, is that in this particular song, because he let me listen to the song, every other word was the N-word. I mean, literally, every other word in the song was the N-word. And one F word was used. So, what does that say? What does that say? And sometimes I have to wonder, right? If I would have used the F word, would we be having this conversation? So, those are my thoughts. I would love to hear yours, and please support the merch. If you ain't talking dollars, you ain't making sense. And in part, black people, please have enough respect for yourself and just stop giving out these N-word passes. So, those are my thoughts. I would love to hear yours. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. This is Konate with another episode of A Different Point of View. Peace.